Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm doing a quick review swatch and tutorial on the Laura Geller New York The Weekender Face, Eye, and Cheek palettes. Now this retails for $27 with a value of $70, so you get so much product for such a great price. They are three completely different eyeshadows and blushes and highlighters. You get 4 eyeshadows in each palette. You get a blush and a highlighter in each palette, and they are all so very different. So they all have different color schemes. The first one, Flirty Friday, which was that one, has more of a mauve kind of neutral beige color scheme. The second one is Saturday Style, which has more of a neutral to smoky eye with a fresh pink blush and a very pale highlighter. Then the third one, which is the last one, is Sundae Funday. It's more of a bronzy brown, peachy brown palette. So I'm going to go ahead and show you each palette on my face with the eyes and the face, and let's get into this video. I also want to mention that not only is it a great palette for different occasions, but it is also a great kind of collection that you could even give as gifts to your friends and family. So let's get into this tutorial. This is the first one. It is Flirty Friday. On the inside you have a mirror, and here is my eyeshadow look that I created with the palette. I used the soft topaz and the blooming blush on the eyelid. I also used Sangria Seduction. It's also a shimmering kind of deeper magenta shade on the outer V. And then I used pink powder also on the inner corners and the brow bone, and Fields of Gold, the actual highlighter on the brow bone and the inner corners of the eye as well. So I created that very mauve pink, shimmering pink eye look, and here are the swatches of the shades. You get the pink powder is the only matte out of the eyeshadows, and then the shimmers are the rest. But now I'm going to go ahead and move on to the blush, which is called Lovesick. I'm going to use this Japanesque blush brush for this shade in particular. It's very mauve, it's very neutral. I would say it's best on medium to tan olive skin tones, or just medium tan skin, but I like to use it almost in circular upward motions, almost like a bronzer, because it's so neutral, and that's what it looks like on my face. Then this is the swatch of the highlighter in that palette, which is Fields of Gold, and I would say that this highlighter is definitely a little bit deeper, so I would say that it is also friendly for more medium to tan skin tones or darker skin tones. So it would kind of cast a little bit of a shade on lighter skin tones. So overall, the Flirty Friday, in my opinion, is super beautiful for medium to tan olive skin tones or even just darker skin tones. You can use the eyeshadow if you do have light skin, and you can also use the blush, but definitely the Fields of Gold highlighter is friendly for darker skin tones, and you can also use the Fields of Gold as a highlighter if you have light skin. So next we're going to go ahead and review and look at the Saturday Style palette, which is more of a kind of smoky eye with neutral tones and pale tones. So I would say that this eyeshadow look is just a simple look. I like doing simple eyeshadow looks. I did use the Stormy Eyes, the darker shade in the palette, for the kind of shadow wing liner look, and then I used Pure Linen on the eyelid and the City Shadow as a transition, and also La La Lavender as a transition as well. So it was super easy to create. I love it with my false lashes. As you can see, there's a super major difference, but it's very simple. And then we're gonna go ahead and look at the face palette, the blush and the highlighter now. And to be honest, the pink popsicle Blush is definitely one of my favorites out of the three. It's so beautiful. It's pink. Here are some swatches of the eyeshadows before I move on to the face, but they're mostly mattes. The City Shadow that I use as transition is kind of a shimmer, but here we are with the blush, and that is Pink Popsicle. It's very bright. It's very fresh. I use this BH Cosmetics fluffy brush just to kind of tap it onto the apples of my skin, and I absolutely love this shade. And then the Mineral Ice is definitely a very pale kind of champagne shade, very icy. So it's definitely friendly for lighter skin tones, but it could also work for darker skin tones as well. I think just any skin tone this palette could work for. But I absolutely love it. I feel like the Pink Popsicle, the blush in this palette, is the most favorite part of the palette for me, and I absolutely love it. So here's the end result of using all of this palette, Saturday Style, all over my face with the eyes and the face and the blush and the highlighter. And you can always make or just create a smokier eye, or use any of the shades just for a neutral everyday look. But this again is another beautiful palette. And so now we're going to move on to the third and last palette, which is my favorite. It is called Sundae Funday. It's more of a bronzy eye and face look. I used Tantalizing Taupe on the eyelid. I also used Rich Umber on the transition, Golden Girl in the inner corners and brow bone, and Cedarwood on the outer V. And it's super beautiful. I definitely would choose this one out of the three for myself personally, and it's just so beautiful, and I can't say enough good things about this palette. It's one of my favorites, and you can always just use the other shades for a brown smoky eye, or even just a neutral everyday look. But we're going to move on to the blush and the highlighter again, and this is another one of my favorites. I would say it is a cross between a peachy brown shade, but still very neutral. So light skin tones and dark skin tones and medium skin tones can use this palette as well. So I'm using the Japanesque brush again to apply it as almost like a bronzer, and then kind of tapping it down on the apples just to create a warm kind of flush to my skin and also a bronzed out look. And then I'm going to go in and pinpoint the highlighter, Copper Pearl, in the targeted areas, the tip of the nose, the inner corners of the eyes, and I'm also going to put it under the brow bone as well. But this shade, this highlighter, is friendly for all skin tones. I don't think it has a cast. It's very metallic. I feel like all of the Laura Geller highlighters are kind of like metallic and shimmery. If you do have a lot of texture, it might emphasize that. But if you have smooth skin on the apples of your cheeks, then you don't have to worry about that. But this is the end result of using the Sundae Funday palette. Out of them all, this one is my favorite. I absolutely love it. All it needs is a bronzer or contour shade, and it would just be the best. But you do have three. It's very giftable, and I absolutely love all of the shades and the combinations you can create with all of this. It's such a great price. But that was my video, guys. Hope it helped you out in any way that it could. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and check out my other playlists, and I will see you guys all next time in my next one. Bye, guys.